Hey everybody, how we doing?
Good.
Hey, hello.
סליחה.
We're all here just about at the same time. Great. Okay. All right. We got a lot of stuff to go through today. You guys have been sending in a few things, which is good. And so I'm going to get right to it. And then,
listening.
pardon?
I'm listening.
Oh, okay.
I could not join you this morning because my internet was out of line. So
Sorry.
You didn't have a show on this morning, did you?
Well, we talked about a couple of architects during the Renaissance, mainly. And we did.
It wasn't on my calendar that you had a show at 11 o'clock today.
uh-oh.
No, we do.
Okay, well now I know to tune in twice a day.
Right. Yeah, 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Right. Because I had it on Mondays and Fridays for 2 times a day and on Wednesday 1 time.
Okay, well, you should have a link for that Wednesday morning class. Now, remember, they're all different links, so you can't use the same link in the afternoon that you do in the morning, okay?
Yeah, but it wasn't listed. That was the reason I couldn't get on it, I guess.
Oh, it should be. Huh, okay. Anyway, so before we got so rudely interrupted and cut off, we were talking about this piece of art, and Bob Homer did this. He's just joined our class last week, and anyway, I want to move on. And so, for those of you who remember, this is Scratchboard, okay? Now, this is another piece that he did.
Oh, those are nice.
Now, Bob, is this the same thing, or is this? Yeah.
This is the same thing, and basically you're seeing my progression in this technique. I think this one, this is much smoother. This has got a lot more finesse, I guess. It's a good word. About it, almost looks like chrome.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It's like silver.
Yeah. Well, they both kind of pull off, some sense of that metallic feel to them, and both of them were handled pretty well. Okay. I'm gonna skip the painting you did for right now, and I'm gonna go to the third piece that you did, and this is.
Oh, beautiful.
This is the most recent piece that I've done.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, the progression of my ability to handle halftones is increasing. I've only been doing this for about a year, the scratchboarding.
Right.
So,
yeah. Now, one thing I would say, too, particularly around trying to lay in a halftone, okay? And with the technique that you're using, when you're drawing, a lot of times what they tell you is lay your line work in and your tone to follow the form of the object that you're rendering, okay? So like, for example, on these boots right here on the side, you see you've laid this in and it's kind of a diagonal, and it's telling you that surface is moving downward, right? You did pretty well around the tongue of the shoe up here as well. But then you get down here, okay? And everything seems to move kind of in this vertical up and down direction, right?
okay.
And if you would have laid that in, kind of moving around that form,
Okay.
those would have felt, more dimensional and more round.
What
Okay?
is the meaning? What is the meaning of this painting?
Patriotic, I guess. The thought that many people have, many soldiers, men and women, have lost their lives, and what do you have left is a pair of boots and a flag. It's kind of sentimentally kind of thing, and patriotic.
July 4th and all.
Yeah, it's a nice concept, and you know, like I said, you've handled most of it really, really well. Yeah, the only comment I would have, like I said, is right in like particularly like the toe of the shoe right here. If
Okay,
you begin to move, you know, more around the form, so it describes that shape.
gotcha.
Yeah, you might be able to pull that off a little bit better. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And then we have this lovely little piece.
Oh,
Now,
beautiful.
is this oil or is this acrylic?
This is oil.
Okay. All right. And have you tried? Whoop. Okay, we didn't want to do that. Okay. Have you painted many portraits?
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm basically, see, how do I describe? This is my sister's stepdaughter's grandson.
Okay.
And there was a picture that his grandmother posted on the internet or on the Facebook, and I just couldn't resist. I said, okay, I gotta work on this guy.
Okay.
And I've made some improvements since this one was done. I just put it in the frame temporarily to show somebody, but I basically on the as you're looking at it, the right hand side, I've lightened the shirt a lot to make sure that I'm telling the audience that the light is coming in from the right side. It's all on his face, but the shirt in this picture doesn't resemble that. So I've lightened that whole side of his shirt.
Okay. So is it okay if I make a couple of comments about it?
Oh, please do. Please do. Oh, yes.
Okay. I want to point out a couple of things. You know, one, the light on the side of the face, the nose, the cheek, and the intensity of the color here in the skin versus the cooler, more muted shadows across those skin surfaces work really well. Okay. And so you've solved that part of the painting, and that works just fine. Right. So I wouldn't mess with that. Okay. But here's the thing. Now you followed suit in the hair, right? Which you should. And I know that this is probably a little boy, I'm guessing, right?
Yes, a little boy. Yes, it is.
Yeah. And he's a towhead, so he's got like really, really kind of platinum blonde hair. And the color that you have here is probably the right color. But you could probably push the value a little bit darker. Because if you squint your eye down, in fact, the value here seems to be lighter than the value on the light. That really can't be. See?
Well, say that again, please.
Okay. You've changed the intensity. Okay, so that works, right? And I'm not saying get more intense with the color, but the value over here on this side of the head, because it's beginning to turn away from the light and fall into the shadow, has to be darker in value than anything on the light side.
Okay.
Okay. And if you squint your eye down, the values over here seem to have more contrast and generally be darker and not as light in value. Now they are more intense in color, but again, not as light in value. So you could get much lighter here, or you could push this down darker. And I would say, I would go ahead and push this a little bit darker over here to round the top of that head out. Again, just like you probably did with the shirt, you know, bringing some lighter values in here.
Right.
Come in, bring, you know, again, don't change the color necessarily. Just darken the value so that it feels like this moves around,
Okay.
you know, the head. Because right now what's happening is this kind of flattens out up here. See, there's not enough contrast.
Right.
And he's got this round head like most of us, right? And so you can't have this as light if this is falling into shadow. Okay?
Gotcha.
All right.
Thank you.
Sure. Moving on down the line here, we have a painting by Eloise. And this seems to be a little unusual for Eloise because Eloise, are you here?
I think she is.
Yeah, I haven't. Let's see. Don't see her. Yeah, I don't see her. Huh. Okay. Anyway, she sent this, and it's. I'm guessing it's kind of a collage. You know, I'm guessing that she painted in the background, and then she, you know, used one of Elon's techniques by, you know, actually putting in the parts. But when she's here, we'll get back and we'll talk about that more in depth. And then, of course, I want to show you this piece. This is Elsie Jester, and this is, you know, the idea of this is, okay, it's supposed to look like a piece of stained glass, which it does. It kind of reminds you of that kind of design pattern. But the thing I really liked about this was that she, in her email, and I think who had done that before? I want to say it was Lady who sent in a piece, and she had this beautiful story about what she was doing. You know, Elsie, you know, had this description of what the painting really meant to her, and about how this is really kind of a portrait of her. You know, she has, I guess, she's had some surgery on her back and things, and got some metal in it, and this is supposed to be sort of that metal spine that she's got with her spirit around it, and then this is sort of the trials and tribulations of life, you know, in this flower pot. And through all of it, you know, she can still, you know, create flowers, you know, this white flower up here. And I don't know whether she's here online right now. I can't see all of you, unfortunately. But, you know, it's a great story, you know, and it's interesting, you know, to hear how or what the thinking process is behind some of the things that you guys are creating. So, you know, it's a real creative approach. Anyway, I put this together for her so that we could see it all. This is a piece that John sent in. This is a watercolor. And John, you're on here, aren't you?
That's Jean.
Oh, did you send it in, Jean?
Yes.
Oh,
I sent you 2 pieces last week and you said you didn't get them, so I resent them. This was one and the other was those rolled 500-pound hay bales.
yeah, the hay bales. Yeah, that's coming up next. Okay.
Right.
I'm sorry. I mistakenly credited those to John.
Well, Jean and John, it's close in size.
I'll take it. It's very nice.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a nice painting, Jean.
It is.
Really is.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's got this kind of stormy, kind of, you know, just before it rains type feel.
Right.
Yeah. And the way you handled the clouds and everything are really nice.
But it's still peaceful.
Yeah, still, yeah. It kind of, yesterday I went for a walk, and I went down by the lake that's just below my house, and the sky was incredible blue yesterday. It was really intense, and you know, white, puffy, you know, clouds and stuff. And at night, I got some nice photos. I'll have to share them. Yeah, but it kind of reminds me of that a little bit. This is the hay bales.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And again, you know, you did a nice job getting some nice distance, you know, in the painting. Okay. So what can you tell us about this one?
Well, both of those were done in the Appalachians. I went up for like 2 days and they were baling and all. This was, I think, 2 years ago.
Mhm.
We were outside and I took a picture, but I also started to sketch, and then I did it from the photograph and the sketch. But what I particularly did then that I can't seem to do now is to get the richness of color that I like in it.
Yeah. Well, the thing with watercolor is because it is transparent, you can get things fairly bright, but you can't. Yeah, you're not going to get the same level of intensity out of a watercolor that you would necessarily with like an acrylic or an oil. Okay. You know, it just always, it's going to be a little bit softer. And it just has its own particular look. But then again, you know, you can't really pull that off with oil either. So, you know,
Yes.
yeah, there's you know, pluses to each of them. And they do. They have their own sort of character. But the thing I like about this particular piece is how soft you kept the mountains back here and how the water just sort of diffuses the edges. So that helps that move back. You get to the tree line. Now, I guess my comment would be between the hay bale and the tree line, you know, all of this seems really close to me. And, you know, much like you know, softened the back here, you know, I might take and just soften that down a little bit.
Okay.
That's the key word, little bit. You know, and let these really kind of roll forward, right, with the sharper edges and a little more contrast. So, you know, if it were me, I would probably take just like a spray bottle or something, just kind of spray over this area real lightly, and then just take like a paper towel and just pat it.
Blot it?
Yeah, just to lift it ever so slightly. All right.
You know, I may just try a new one to see if I can.
Yeah, you know, the other thing you could do is you can mute the color a little bit more along here.
Right.
Again, you know, pushing it back. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
But I
Thank
mean, everything pretty nicely, you know, your scale and everything else really tells you that hay bale is coming forward close to you. But yeah, that the tree line fights it just a little bit.
Well, the yellow is a little hill that really stopped the hay bale from rolling further down the hill.
Yeah.
So the hill has got part of the bale blocked.
Yeah.
Or the bale would have been bigger. But I don't know why. I just like because it put another piece of depth in the picture is the reason I.
Yeah, and that works fine. You know, the scale of this compared to everything else, it's fine. It's
Okay.
Again, the contrast, you know, in value here and the intensity. It's kind of very similar here and here. See? And
Right. So it needs to be more intense down at the hay bale level, I guess is.
well, it could be, or it could be less intense.
Lightened up in the back.
Yeah, just a little,
Lighten it up. Yeah.
and that would move it back. Okay.
Gotcha.
All
Thank you.
right. Then we have June. Now June, we've seen this before. June.
Yes.
Yeah. So where did this come from?
Oh, coming you the screenshot. You
Woo!
post.
Yeah, from right. Yeah, yeah. Another artist sort of did this, and so this is June's interpretation of that nude. Okay, and that was Catherine Nabel, I think, was the artist.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Who did this? Okay. All right. And then I think Larry is here. Lawrence.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you do any more with this young lady?
No, that's pretty much the end of it.
Okay.
Something looks different.
The flowers.
I think I did do more.
You did more
Yeah.
on the flowers.
And I think I sent it into you. Where is it?
Talked about putting some more flowers, you know,
On
down.
the left hand, I had shaded in the background all the way around her.
Uh-huh.
So
Right.
you don't have the last one.
I haven't, no, not that I'm aware of.
Well, he took it off of the upper arm, but not of the lower right side, if you're looking at the lady.
Yeah.
He took it off of the right side of the upper arm,
Right.
but not the shadow on there, not that.
Yeah, if you pull that shadow out, and then, like I said, again, kind of bring these flowers around her, she'll feel a little more grounded, I think. Okay. Then we have this piece that you sent me. Okay. And I kind of like where this is going. This is kind of fun. That's that Archer. Again, you're playing with different ideas of that. So what are you thinking here?
The Archer came off of Cartoon Network. The mountains were part of Cartoon Network. It's sort of like when, somebody's drawing cartoons that are in the flat mode. So I kind of gave it a try. That's just all fooling around.
Okay. Well, we got a little time to do that now. We can fool around.
Well, I'm fooling around with the horse and the archer now, and
Okay.
it's a pain in the butt.
So let me make one comment about this drawing. And we've talked about this before. With your clouds, they are in fact feel more solid and hard than the mountains do, and that's because of the contrast. And again, if you keep the values softer back there, then they'll feel a little bit lighter. Those clouds kind of feel like, big clumps of trees, falling out of the sky right now. So it's like
That's experimentation.
Yeah. So those edges could be a lot softer. Maybe the range of value could be more limited. Okay. And clouds, clouds will get dark, before a storm or, different types of day, depending on the angle of the sun. But, with everything going on in the mountains and with the Archer, I would probably make it softer as they move back. Okay. Then we have Naomi, and I know she's here. She sent in
Yes, that's the angry woman.
Yeah, I wonder about that.
That's the assignment.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anger.
Yeah.
Screamer.
She's
That's Naomi,
screaming.
I know.
She's in the protest.
Okay.
She's protesting, but she doesn't know what she's protesting.
Well, that's too bad.
Nope, she looked like one of my neighbors.
Yeah, they're protesting. She doesn't know what.
He looks like one of the what?
One of his neighbors.
Oh, one of your neighbors. Well, Armando, you have to stop having that effect on people, okay? Okay. And then you've got this lady.
She's sad.
Yes, that was the assignment. Sad, happy, and angry.
Right.
Oh.
And then this is happy.
That's happy. He's happy.
Okay. All right. And then, well, you've got a bunch of these. Okay.
Yeah. I don't like, that's sad, but his nose is a problem.
Yeah, actually, I like him better.
You do?
I do. Yeah, he kind of reminds me. I'm trying to think.
Emmett the Clown.
Emmett Kelly.
Yeah, but there was an artist who did nothing but paint clowns. That's all he did. In fact, he painted clowns, but he was a professional clown himself. And he was really good at kind of capturing sort of the expression and emotion, involved. This looks a little bit sad.
A little bit.
Yeah, kind of, I would say more bored than sad or tired.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not so sure about the sad in there, again. And again, well, okay, she's supposed to be thinking. So
Speaking or something.
Could be.
Speaking. Looks
Yeah.
like she's speaking.
You know, Naomi, my advice to you is that you have a captive audience at home. You know, you've got Stan, right?
Oh.
And you could use him as a model.
I'll get to him.
You'll
I
get
got plenty of time. I'm social isolation. I got plenty of time to do it.
okay.
What we all.
Well, here's
Well, in a way, the social isolation is relaxing to me because I'm not frantically running anywhere.
right.
There's
Okay.
something about it that is nice too.
So here's my thought about that though. Okay, is a lot of these? Are you drawing these out of like magazines or where?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm listening to programs, and I'm sitting on my comfortable chair, and I'm drawing while I'm listening to these talk shows. That could be very upsetting, but drawing relaxes me.
Uh-huh. Okay. So my question is though, are you coming up with these faces sort of out of your own head, or are you?
No, I'm going through my collection and to get the expression that you said you wanted.
Right.
But I'm practicing doing, the noses I have a problem with, so I'm practicing.
Yeah. It's it's not a universal thing, but it's kind of hit or miss with you. As
Yes.
whether you get the face and all the features sort of in line, finding that center line in the face, and that's why I was saying it might be better to try to draw Stanley because he is a living, breathing, three-dimensional human being that you can make observations and I think tell better where to put that center line than trying to draw from probably a retouched photo. Okay?
Yeah, I'm practicing all the time.
Okay. But yeah, that drawing from life thing will help you. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it'll help you kind of work out your proportions and not get things quite as distorted.
I'm hoping with practice I'll get there.
You will. It's getting better, and you're getting better at using the pencil, and being more expressive with it as well.
Well, I bought that pencil sharpener that you showed.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You like that thing?
I do like it, and I just find practicing it. You know what I find? That when I'm done, I should look at it again the next day. My problem is I don't take a second look.
Uh-huh.
That it looks completely, with the second day, I see my mistake.
Okay. All right. Well, and that's, going back and looking at him from time to time, we'll see different things. All right. So I'm going to move on. We got one more piece here I want to go through. And this, finally, at last, we get to talk about Veronica's piece. Yay! Hey, Veronica, how you doing?
Well, tell me she's not here.
Yeah. Now, you told me, I guess this is the Fisher Building. You're muted.
Where is she?
Can you unmute yourself?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. All
Okay.
right.
It's the Fisher Building in Detroit.
Right. Okay. All right.
A work in progress.
Work in progress. Have you done anything more to it?
No, I was waiting for the assistance of you and the group.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, right now, in just looking at this, it kind of looks like it's lit from behind. It's this big dark shape. And you get some contrast, some details on the front, and I guess my question is, what's your intention?
I didn't hear you. What was the intention?
Yeah, where do,
Somebody needs to mute a dog bark.
yeah, somebody's dog in the back. Mute yourself, please. So what's your intention now?
I'm going to work on the sidewalk so that it looks like we're walking into the building itself.
Well, if you're going to do that, then you're going to need some angle or something leading back to it. Okay.
And I guess I also need to lighten up the building in certain spots so that there's more variance.
Yeah.
Or more different values coming through.
Right. Well, yeah. Now deciding where the light is coming from. You know, if the light is coming from behind the building, it could all, you know, really be all in deep shadow. But because buildings are not flat, we're not looking at just the flat face of it, we see some of the sides, you know, then the value can't be the same here as it is here, right?
Yeah.
Because again, you know, they're moving toward or away from the light. And okay. So take a look at that, you know, take a look at reference, and you know, you're going to end up having to make a decision, and probably, you know, you'll end up, I'm not sure exactly how many faces of that building there are, but you're probably going to come up with a couple of different values. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Guess who's here?
Naomi.
Eloise. She made it. So now we can ask her about her painting.
Eloise, okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
Hi.
Great, great.
All right, Eloise, tell us about your painting here, your mixed media piece.
Yeah, it's the painting, the landscape, all of the landscape I painted. I painted everything except the two cars are stick-ons. They're glued, they're just cutouts from a magazine, but the rest of it I painted. It was a project we were doing for a class I was taking, where we use mixed media.
Like it, yeah.
Okay, so this is a mixed media piece, and I'm
Yes,
guessing this is acrylic?
it's acrylic. Acrylic, yes.
Okay, all right. So I got a couple of things. You know, I like the composition. I like where things are. I like the way you've handled different areas of this. But you know, if I take my time and I squint my eye down, right? What I notice, I see the cars, and those come forward, and that's good. But then this area right here versus, or in contrast to this area, they, you know, they seem as though the color and the contrast back here is really much stronger than it is here. And if you were really outside, you know, looking at this landscape, that couldn't be, because you would actually have more contrast in the areas that are closer to you, and these would move back a little bit.
So the mountains need to be further back and muted colors, maybe?
Well, mainly it just needs to be softened a little bit, okay? Now, here's an idea, okay? What you might take is you might take a little bit of white, and I mean a little bit of white, and a little bit of the blue that you used in the sky here, and you might dilute those down using either like a gel medium, or you can use water, okay? And then just do a very light wash back here just on the mountains, okay? Not on the trees here, just on the mountain. And see if you can fade those back just ever so slightly. And if you do that, you'll begin to see them move back. And then you may have enough contrast and intensity up here then to push that forward, okay? And not really have to do anything up here. But that's probably how I would approach it. See, and I would just try to soften, you know, particularly like these right over in here, because these seem to be stronger than even, you know, back here. So again, you know, I would just glaze over that area right there. and
Mhm.
begin to push that back just a little bit. Okay.
Just white, not with ochre or anything, white only? Not
Yeah,
with ochre?
I would use white and a mixture of the white and this blue right here in the sky.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay. And again, very, very thin. It's mainly water. Okay. It's just a little tiny touch of white. You know, if it looks real milky and you know, and begins to cover over your mountains, then you've got too much paint in there. You know, it should be like putting water on there, but just a little bit cloudy. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
let
you.
that sit up and dry, and obviously do it flat so it doesn't run all over the place. But you know, I would just do that. Maybe you may have to do it 2 or 3 times. And again, I would use very little paint in that water, and I would hit it 2 or 3 times rather than just, you know, jump in there and put a bunch of paint in there. Okay. You know, because you want to just take it back a little at a time. So do it, you know, a little bit judiciously. Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. But yeah, it's a nice piece, and really like the color, the movement, the composition in it. And I think you got a Maserati versus an Alfa Romeo there.
All right, okay. I hadn't paid him any attention.
Yeah. Well, you know, they're both Italian cars, and
Yeah.
all
I'll
right.
take the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. They've been doing some good stuff lately. So let's see. We got a chat here. Somebody's asking a question. Oh, please mute your dog. Okay. Yeah. Somebody did. Okay. We got a few more minutes. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to make you guys suffer. I'm going to show you some of the things I've been working on.
Oh, okay.
Been doing a fair amount of drawing lately, but also been continuing working on painting.
Oh,
I like that one.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's really nice.
That is really nice.
Who's that?
Are you gonna
I don't know.
you gonna send that to the portrait?
Pardon?
Are you gonna send that one to the portrait people for a
No,
show?
actually, they've got a drawing show coming up at the Atlanta Artist Center, and so I just did that this morning, and I'm gonna
Wonderful.
thinking about it. We need to work on it a little bit still.
Nice,
Pardon?
nice.
Okay. And I did this drawing as well. Okay. And let's see, what else have I got here drawing wise that I was planning on sending. Oh, here's another figure that I was going to send.
Send that to me, will you?
Whoa. Oh.
But
That's pencil and what?
a little bit of pastel.
That's good, Charles.
So, okay. So those are the drawings I've been working on. And of course, you know, I've been doing stuff like that in my sketchbook. I draw quite a bit.
Beautiful.
The sycamore. We saw
Yeah.
that one.
Yep.
I like that. Yeah, that's
Very
that's-
nice.
That's very hard. That sycamore is awful.
Well, yeah, to try to get that form, it's fun. Okay. We got less than a minute here. Okay. So I got a little further on that. Notice that I lengthened the legs a little,
Right?
Yeah. Mhm.
and I've started building up the color on it now. And I got like the first layer of, you know, on the skin tones at this point.
Right.
So, and then there's the sycamore tree that's out behind the house. Got a
Was
little-
that the large one that was in that painting that you
Uh-huh.
saw?
Yeah, that seems to be, I'm focusing a lot on that tree. I love that tree. Anyway, we got about less than a minute, so I just wanted to say thank you, everybody, for coming. Friday, you know, we're going to be talking about drawing all day. And like I said, if you weren't here this morning, Monday, we're going to go back and talk about kind of the middle Renaissance period. Okay? So we got a lot of ground to cover, and you'll get to hear about people like Da Vinci, Caravaggio,